You can bring people together all day long. You can serve people beer or coffee or throw t-shirt swag at them, whatever. But if you don't offer any value, like real value, then people are not going to see any tangible effects. And that is something that Mission 43 does not accept. Like, we must provide results for our people, and I think we're doing that in a variety of different ways. Mission 43 was created solely because of the Scott family, and the J. and Catherine Albertson Family Foundation wanted to do something for veterans in Idaho.
What could we do? What should we do? What might really add value? What doesn't currently exist?
And what they built was something that brought me in personally and helped me personally.
Could we do something for the people that were willing to risk it all for the opportunities that are created for us today?
When I was at Walter Reed Medical Center after I got blown up, and people come in and like, hey, we're gonna take you on a hunting trip or a special fishing trip. I love hunting and fishing, but at that point, I wanted to be able to read to my kids.
It was this word of mouth, this organic growth that has snowballed now into the place where we are today. Mission 43 has over 10,000 members.
We're a statewide initiative. Everything that Mission 43 does is free for veterans and military families. And again, that's really because that's the desire of JCAF and the Scott family, is to make Idaho the premier destination for life after the military.
I graduated from high school, and then 40 days later, I was enlisting at the Air Force Academy. So I had a very short window of where I wasn't in school and I wasn't in the military. So it's been my entire life. So when I retired in October, to kind of have this reset of, well, who am I? Know that I'm no longer in the military. It's certainly helpful having people who have already made that transition to talk to.
You live in a world where everything is determined for you. It's such a tight-knit community, and what you do gives you such a sense of purpose. And then all of a sudden to leave everyone you know, every job that you know, and feel like your skills are not the same, the jobs are not the same on the civilian world, the friends are not the same, getting to choose what I wear, how I wear my hair, and where I'm gonna live. And it's a little bit overwhelming to have all that choice and freedom, but you lose so much comfort.
And to have people that you can freely open up to, and they're like, I totally hear you. Like, I get where you're coming from. Like, those first couple weeks when somebody comes home from a deployment, it's not easy. Like, there's the fanfare and everybody's happy that everybody's back together, but then real life sits in and you have to figure out your roles again.
Even the most successful people that Mission 43 has seen transition to civilian life into incredible careers and incredible family situations, it's never linear. So it's not a step one, step two, step three that oftentimes the military makes it seem like it will be. Like, you're gonna have ups and downs. And just because you retired 9 years ago doesn't mean that you're not dealing with things that happened 10 years ago. You know, it is a constant process, and oftentimes it's not just the veteran, it's most times the family.
And I thought that I was by myself. I thought that I was alone. You're not alone.
There's a lot of things to worry about, right? We're moving to a new location, we just bought a house, we have bills to pay.
One of the first things you're worried about is employment. How am I going to communicate the skills that I've gained in the military to a civilian employer so that they can fully appreciate the amount of trust and training and just what you've gained from the military. A lot of words and experiences don't translate directly, so you need help navigating that.
Employment and education were the top two priorities.
I think everything Mission 43 does is based on needs. It's not something, even though we experiment with different types of programming offered, the things that we really double down on are the things that create an impact here for the communities that we're trying to serve in Idaho. And it is making a real impact. The PMP course, when people graduate it at a 90% pass rate versus a 30% national average, that has an impact. That's $35,000 on average more annual earning than people without the certification. That has an impact on families. All of the things that we do are based on industry needs as far as our employment and education. We're not looking to help people just waste their GI Bill money. We're looking to get people an advancement in their career to have a better life for them and their family.
There's so many career fields that are growing here in Idaho that we just don't have the talent right now to fill. And so instead of saying, okay, big company, recruit from out of state. How do we get you to recruit from in-state? We're getting these amazing military members making Idaho their home after the military. How do we get them employed? And how do we get those doors that are open? Let's help them walk through it. And if that's a certification or a piece of education that we can build on, then that's almost the easiest thing in the world to answer it. We just have to know what our employers need, and we can answer that call.
Our employers are beginning to realize there's this hidden talent pool within our veteran community that have done amazing things for our country, that they can take those skills now and deploy them in our local communities and add value.
My husband said, you really need to do one of these hired hero seminars because you're currently looking for a job, like we've relocated. And I was very hesitant and I didn't want to do it because I said, I'm a military spouse. Like the spouse is kind of in the background and we just kind of keep things together on the home front. And he was like, well, I already signed you up for it and I think it's a great idea.
Spouses are not an afterthought. They're right there, shoulder to shoulder with us. I know my wife was my entire career. And so here on the outside, it's the same. And Mission 43 has that focus. And the kids are included too. It's a focus on not just the service member and puts them in a bubble, but takes everything into account. That's another thing that makes them really, really special and so effective.
I feel like one of the first things people are looking for is a community.
Jobs are really important, house is really important, but finding your tribe is also really important. And I just met some great people that really helped me along and are still helping me along.
I think a lot of people that are drawn to the military are drawn to service.
My love of volunteering gives me that same sense of purpose that I had when I had the uniform on.
Ha, got me working, something you might not never see again.
When I get to volunteer for the Challenge Athletes Foundation, when I get to volunteer for the kids' bike ride.
Way to go!
I also see it as an opportunity to model good behavior, civic responsibility to my children, my family.
It's like Christmas in July for me. And that's all to Mission 43 because veterans, we have this heart of service. We want to serve our communities. We want to make our communities better. And Mission 43 creates those opportunities for us.
This way, finish! There you go!
And I also hope that it will inspire other veterans to get out there and be a part of the community and continue to serve, because your service just looks different. Just because you took off the uniform doesn't mean that you can't still serve. It just looks different than what it did before.
As we began to get more traction on the employment side and the education side and the engagement, growing that community really started to take off to where we said, okay, we're onto something here. And so that led to, well, what do we need to do next? Could we build a physical space that would allow these two organizations to thrive? Could we create a physical space that allowed them a place to call home?
So the Idaho Outdoor Fieldhouse was created to make an environment to host the two groups, Mission 43 and CAF.
The Fieldhouse is made for those who don't want to stop. It's someone who's going to take it to the next level. It's someone who's going to do great things. It's someone who's going to be a part of the community. And all that wrapped into one, it just creates these diamonds in the rough that are popping out.
A world-class training facility with all the equipment in here, all brand new, the turf.
Wheelchair basketball, we got pickleball coming up, rock climbing that happens once a week right now. There's functional fitness activities.
Just like wheelchair basketball the other day, now my shoulders are all ripping. I think I broke my finger.
Doesn't matter what your abilities are. You sit in a chair and kind of the rest goes out the window. You can be a star athlete, basketball player, and then sit into a chair and the whole world changes around you.
Because we're actually, doing something together. We're out here shooting hoops together, challenging each other, and, talking a little smack here and there,
All the balls out of the way.
It's just a really special camaraderie that I myself haven't experienced with any other organization.
Starting with those like happy hours or coffee hours is a great way to connect with someone. You start building your network.
It was a happy hour that initially brought me to Mission 43. It was the premise of, okay, maybe a free drink, and then, I might have to suffer through some veterans butt sniffing each other and figuring it out, and it ended up being you connect with some really authentic, incredible people that make an impact. And in that, when you meet someone, they might be looking for a new career, or they might be looking for help, with something else like PTSD or traumatic brain injury or substance use disorder. Now, I was looking for help when I came to Mission 43, and I came to a happy hour. I didn't necessarily know that Mission 43 was going to save my life. At the time, I had no idea. But that's what ended up happening.
You know, everybody falls on dark times and has troubles with things, and having that group of people that you can reach out to and you know is going to answer the phone and tell you that it's okay, and you know you're going to be all right, and come out and be with you if you need, and just keep you from, you know, having those bad thoughts and maybe worse.
It's a results-based organization. Like I said, humans are more important than hardware, and that numbers aren't everything. You know, like look at this place that we're at, you know, Summit across the street with the hyperbaric chambers. It's super humbling to think that that was started because they saw the effect on one person that happened to be me.
We had learned early on about hyperbaric oxygen therapy. You go into a chamber, the door closes behind you, it's pressurized with air, and you breathe 100% oxygen. It hyperoxygenates your blood and heals you basically from the inside out. A lot of our folks that are seeking hyperbaric treatment also struggle maybe with substance abuse or PTSD, and there's an inherent value that we're seeing that's really helping people heal and grow, and I would just say become whole again.
I think the thing that really makes Mission 43 special and that really gets me excited is the engagement pillar.
The engagement pillar rapidly became kind of our groundswell.
I still like to have a good time and cut loose, and I think we make that available and without judgment for people. Having fun doing something outside with your family. You know, it means getting in the swimming pool and messing around with the kids. Like, there's a lot of opportunities here that are really meaningful, that are maybe not what a lot of organizations think of when they think of veteran service. My level of dancing skills is very important to me.
I feel it, I feel it, I feel it. Here we go.
Where I grew up, we settled things with the dance. Fun is a huge part of recovery. Laughter is too. And now with our kids, like, they're kids. They want to laugh and have fun too. It means so much to us, not just me, to see children involved in Mission 43's activities, parents getting their kids involved of all ages. Like, that's how kids learn the importance of service, sacrifice, community. Like, that doesn't happen by accident.
It's honoring a veteran. It's run for fun.
Run for everyone that's sacrificed for our country.
Thank you for your service.
Those things matter, and they remember them. And it's funny how you see little kids identifying, you know, how proud, like my sons are, to wear their Mission 43 shirts to school, you know? It shows that their dad or mom is a veteran or military spouse, and they're proud of that. It doesn't define who they are as a young man or young woman, but it's a part of who they are because it's a part of their parents, and that's huge.
One of the greatest programs, I'll tell you right now, that I've benefited from Mission 43 is the Leaders Fellowship program. That program has transcended my life.
It's been really exciting for me to see how every cohort evolves and how the program just continues to get better.
I call it the premier leadership program in the nation.
You know, it's a 4-phase experience.
The first phase is lead yourself first. It's basically a time that we pull people out of their comfort zone and we kind of force them to look inward and figure out what they need to change in their personal life to actually be able to accept some of the lessons that will come later that will help them lead others. Phase 2 of the Leaders Fellowship is the Wilderness Immersion, which is probably one of the most impactful of the 4 phases of the Leaders Fellowship. We bring these people together, a lot of which, believe it or not, have never spent a night in the woods in their life. You know, we come here to meet at the field house. There's a lot of anxiety from a lot of folks because they're about to live in the backcountry somewhere in Idaho for 3 nights and 4 days with a team of people that aren't necessarily strangers, but they're certainly not family yet.
I'm nervous excited. I've been preparing for this.
Welcome, Cohort 6. Welcome, Cohort 6. Please go to the front of your team van in 5 minutes. 5 minutes in front of the team vans. Thank you.
Well, if I didn't have anxiety, I do now.
It's hard to freaking find something that you actually get nervous about. So if you're feeling that, join the club. We want you to go deep. I'm not talking about just busting your ass and being physical. I'm talking about actually getting in the conversations. I thank you guys so much for being a part of this. But we're all going to have a good time. You're going to be safe, and you're gonna come back here, and we'll see each other very soon, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Hey.
Fucking go. Let's go.
All right, y'all got to give me a woo! Let's go, baby! Let's go!
I freaking did it! I feel really accomplished, but I think probably the best word is refreshed.
My heart feels very full. It feels very full coming out of the mountains.
It doesn't take that much to make a change. It just sometimes takes a chance to step away and be from the outside looking in.
The biggest reason I wanted to do this whole leadership fellowship was that I've felt so alone for so long.
You feel less lonely. Feel less lonely real fast.
I also really appreciated how all our team was so open.
We're so wrapped up and we're so immersed in all the things that happen to us on a daily basis, whether it's family or friends or business or work or just life in general. There's noise all the time. And to go out into a place like this and not have that, to just stop and to just think and to just be quiet for a moment, to ask yourself the questions you never have the opportunity to ask, which is one of the hardest things to do, to have a conversation with yourself, I think helps.
If I take one takeaway, is how to think about the why, not the what. You know, why are you doing things, not what are you doing?
Then the phase 3 part of it, we had sessions once a month where they brought in leaders from the community who really shared their experience of how they navigated rising to the top of their field, and then how they kind of created balance within their life.
We don't look back and just tell war stories and drink beer, although obviously that does happen. But it's almost always forward-looking. What's next? What are you going to do with what you've learned? What are you going to do with what you've accomplished?
We're leaders. We're lifelong learners, and we inspire that next generation.
When we did the 4th phase, we were all together as a large cohort, and then everyone shared kind of where they were going to take things from this. And so it was really interesting to see what they took from the experience and how they were going to take it forward with them.
Please talk to the people around you. Ask them, where were you at on 9/11/2001? More importantly, this event is probably about how we felt on September 12th.
September 11th is the formative experience, of my life. Truly, it shaped everything that I've done in my adult life. All the choices I made to serve was all because of that. And I'm not alone in that. There's many Mission 43 members that their lives were impacted profoundly because of September 11th, 2001. Not just the day, but the subsequent 20-year war afterwards. I think it's an opportunity to bring different generations together, and not all veterans, right? There's a lot of first responders that come to that event, a lot of civilian supporters that come to that event because they want to be thankful for the people that protect us every day, including first responders, not just the people in military uniform. It's important to have the Field of Honor and the 9/11 Miles of Remembrance as a whole, because we're trying to connect the community to this minority of warfighters and their families that have really borne the responsibility and the brunt of the global war on terror since 9/11.
That's the sound of freedom, baby. That's a sound that means something, and it means that help is coming.
For those that are worried about coming to Mission 43 events that are going to bring their dark cloud with them, join the club. No one at Mission 43, especially me, is going to say come to Mission 43 because you can be like me. I'm still struggling. I'm still in it. And I think all of us come from a place of we're here too. Might be at different levels or different stages of the journey of transition to civilian life, but we're still in it. And we need that socialization with other people that are also in it just as much as they do.
And you don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to take that first step.
If you want to take your life to the next level, show up here. Any facet of your life, they're going to help you improve and achieve things that you never thought you could achieve.
Mission 43 found me and created the opportunity, one, for provide healing. So hyperbaric oxygen therapy was a gift that absolutely changed my life.
My confidence is built, my humility and my confidence at the same time, and I think all of us could agree on that.
I don't think all military members need a handout. Most of them probably don't. Most of them just need a little guidance and a little help and to be pointed in a certain direction. I think Mission 43 does a great job of giving people an avenue that they can use to grow.
There's nothing like this, and that is because there's no other family foundation in this country that has decided to make it their legacy project.
For the Scott family, for our foundation, and our board, we are incredibly proud of the team we've assembled and the work that they're doing for one of the most deserving communities in this country, and that's our veteran community.
What you're doing and how you're supporting this community, you're making an impact on a daily basis.
The same love that I had for America, I have that same love for Idaho today because of Mission 43.
It's really humbling, to be honest, that someone would invest this much in us. And so, yeah, I'm just so grateful and humbled that I've had the opportunity to be a part of this family.
I would not be the person I am today without the relationships that Mission 43 has offered me. When you say members, it sounds so weird to think of some of these people, the Chad Rohrs, the Brad Blairs, the Tony Lyles. People aren't members. Like they're like brothers to me.